Hey, I don't know what this video is going to be about, but tentatively speaking, I want to talk about Mario in general, a little bit. So, what I was thinking, I suppose, is more along the lines of the polka dot theme. That's what I'm calling it at the moment, the polka dot theme. I feel there is some aspect of the Mario universe as a whole that has to do with polka dots as a theme. And I wanted to explore why. What do I mean by this? For example, the mushroom cap, like the hat of a mushroom, is often depicted with a polka dot design. By polka dot, I guess, I just mean an assortment of circles, basically. Right? Toads have these sort of assortment of circles on their hats, right? That's one example of the polka dot design. Then, for design consistency, I suppose, other beings who are not mushrooms also have this polka dot design, like the piranha plants. In some incarnations, have a whole sort of polka dotted kind of surface on them. I'm trying to think of more examples. I know I had more in my head, but I'm struggling at the moment. But one thing I wanted to share was Mario himself is sort of rounded in his features. I think that's important. I think that's sort of part of it in a way, although it may be a silly kind of little detail, right? That he himself is depicted as being slightly tubby, like he has a slight sort of round belly, round face. I mean, I know we're talking about cartoon characters, so they tend to have those features, but big round nose, and there's a roundedness to everything. I mean, maybe it's not necessary to give an example of all of the details, but the moustache itself is made of little round lumps. This then gets contradicted by Wario's moustache, for example, but we have a few of those examples, I suppose. He, of course, goes into circles. He enters into circular tube structures, so he explores circles as a whole. These are silly kind of examples, but I just want to list a few maybe. Turtles are also depicted as having a circular kind of nature when they are inside their shell, when their shell has been taken off them. The shell itself spins around, therefore showcasing its circularity. It's a circular-ish kind of object, which in turn has often spikes on it. Well, no, not often. Bowser's has spikes on it. I guess not all the turtles do. And the spikes on Bowser's shell, I'm sort of extrapolating here, I understand, but the surface of the cone would also be a circle. So again, we have a similar sort of structure to the mushroom cap, of a kind of dome circularity covered with other, conic kind of circles on top. And of course, Mario's whole, signature, the M on his cap is depicted on a round surface on the cap. So, it could have been any other shape. It could have been a square. So there is a way in which circles come in. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of squares as well. There's the question mark boxes. You could look for other shapes, I suppose. But I'm exploring I'm exploring this circular aspect of it at the moment, because I'm interested specifically in the role that this whole idea of polka dots within other polka dots plays. That's something I'm kind of intrigued by, because, like I said in the previous video, I think it's a video about Super Mario Land 2 and Super Mario World, and I try to explore this idea that you have these maps that start appearing at that era in video games, 90s, beginning of the 90s, I suppose. Maybe other consoles have them earlier. Maybe this is something that happens in other ways in other places. But in the Mario world, at least, I have a feeling that it starts with Super Mario World, where you have, maybe earlier, I don't know. I'm taking Super Mario World as an example of a map that is in itself a circular kind of structure that you use to navigate to other maps. So a meta map. Those other maps then are also not circular, but they are of the same nature. They are also maps. And then those maps lead to levels. So you have a thing that's filled with the same type of thing as itself, and then that same type of thing leading somewhere else. I have a feeling like Peach's Castle in Mario 64 has a similar idea, of course. It's present in many video games, right? You have this hub world. Many adventuring sort of platforming games have this idea, have this main hub world that leads you to other worlds. I took a break, so I'm not sure where I even was in the discussion. Oh yeah, maps within maps, right? Maps within maps. And then this idea that I have a feeling that in order to make a hub world that's sort of easily accessible, right, Mario 64. Okay, I was opening too many topics. Mario 64 has this, hub world, and then you go to other worlds from within there. Okay, sure, right? There's different entrances, but I think that the way this tends to happen, this happens more in the 2D example. So Mario 64 isn't that relevant there. Nintendo seemed to choose a circularish structure, squarish, circularish, where the hub world in Super Mario World is kind of visible at one glance, which means that it isn't a straight line. The hub world isn't this sort of horizontal straight line with level 1, level 2, level 3. It's sort of a circular donut with level 1, level 2, not level, but world 1, world 2. And so you can kind of get to any world at any moment. That's my interpretation, at least, that these circularish structures allow for that sort of movement, which is good for a sort of adventure platforming game like Mario is. In the case of a big RPG like Final Fantasy or something, the big map of maps tends to be this sprawling, wide world, which gives a slightly more daunting feeling of exploration, and there's more of a tightening of the heart. You're exploring this wide world, and you don't really know what you're going to find next door. You don't know what's going to happen, which is more appropriate to that RPG feel. I think that a platformer like Mario wants you to know at all times what's happening. There should be very little surprise in the sort of daunting, scary kind of way. There should be a slight element of surprise here and there, secret bonus levels and stuff like that, but it's more, I think, a feeling of like, where everything is. Everything's sort of open and on the table. Everything you're ever going to see in this game is going to be around this general area. You may discover secret bits of it, but the whole general area of it is known. So there's a secret you're going to discover, but it has nothing to do with this daunting quality of discovering the world itself, I think. So, we have this idea of circles within circles. Well, I have this idea. I'm trying to plaster it onto the game. I'm trying to find it in the game, because I feel I have found it. I feel I see it there. So I'm trying to express some structure that I have seen, so to speak. So, the whole idea is, right, what I'm trying to say is these maps within maps themselves give me this feeling of a structure that's inside another structure, and those structures always needing to be seen at all times. Therefore, a circular disposition makes it easy for you to see everything at all times. If the map or the structure was not circular, if it was, again, a straight rectangle, you would need to scroll right and left to see what was happening. So there's a way in which a circle just lets you see everything at the same time. All the levels are there. It's just nicely disposed on the screen, I think, in the circular way. And yeah, so when we're saying structures within structures in the Mario world, I feel that often you get this idea of circles within circles, or circles within circles, right? For example, this whole worlds within worlds idea. Mario Galaxy has it as well. You've got worlds within worlds. You've got circles within circles. Okay. For example, you grab coins. Is that useful? Need to clear my thoughts a little bit. Let's see. What are we going to talk about exactly? I feel like, this thing of structures within structures also seems to happen at an abstract level. So, for example, Peach in Mario Galaxy is this person, and Peach lives on this sort of ground world, right? And she has this sort of counterpart that's Rosalina in Mario Galaxy, who's kind of like above her, literally in the skies, and also seemingly a different type of person than she is, less earthbound, more spiritual, has more of the attributes of some sort of eternal being, right? She travels around for hundreds of years. Like, there's this sort of thing that kind of, it transcends human lengths and human distances as well, that we would travel or live. And the Lumas, these meta stars that exist up in Rosalina's world, I'm talking exclusively of Mario Galaxy here, I apologize. But if that's not really, what we were focusing on, I was trying to make it general about Mario franchise, but Mario Galaxy is a good example of this. The Lumas in Mario Galaxy are said, I think, in some instances, to transform into power stars. So power stars then are the thing that's below in the earthly world and takes care of the palace of Peach's castle, right? So they're more earthbound, they protect the earth. So even if this wasn't canonical in a way, the Lumas still seem like a kind of equivalent to the power stars, but for Rosalina's world, right? So Rosalina has the Lumas, and Peach has the power stars, or something like that. Like, Peach is the guardian of the power stars, I think. Rosalina seems to be the guardian of the Lumas. So they both have these different things, but the fact that canonically it is known that the Lumas can transform into power stars also makes me think, well, okay, so what we've got here is also like a sort of trickling down of this ethereal form of star, trickles down, becomes a material form of star. And that opens up some discussions, I suppose, about abstraction. And abstraction as a whole kind of has this feeling of circles within circles, in the sense of structures within structures, that get more and more and more abstract as they go outwards, more general, so to speak. So general, going back down to the particular and or the concrete and materially concrescented down on earth kind of thing. Yeah, okay. That's it, I suppose. Bye.